Well, thank you, Mr. Hickel. Mr. Hickel shared lots of reasons why this Chesterton model works so well, and people all over the world are taking notice. For example, this year, our school here in Orlando has been featured in multiple newspapers, podcasts, and websites. The local CBS station came and did a video profile on our school. Many of you have seen that. The Orlando Magic, our local NBA team, invited our Chesterton students to come sing the national anthem before the game, and they've told us it's one of the best performances of the year. Maybe just to sell some more Magic tickets to us, I don't know. But people are seeing what's happening here, the human formation, the beauty, the faith, and they're invigorated with hope. They're encouraged. They want to be a part of it. But for us, there has been one even more exciting development at the school this year. Ever since opening the school 2 years ago, we yearned to have Mass on campus. However, without a dedicated chapel or priests, and without the bishop's formal approval, that just wasn't possible. We weren't able to have any sacraments at our school. Nevertheless, the board of directors and the leaders of the school started dreaming and praying. We prayed together and we begged God to open a path, to make it possible. And we slowly began to develop a sense that if we took the first move, God would respond. So we committed to building a big, beautiful chapel, a worthy house of the Lord, right in the middle of our campus. It was kind of the field of dreams principle. If you build it, he will come. Bill Martin, I think he's here somewhere in the crowd. He's a chief architect at UCF, volunteered his architectural expertise, and we connected also with a renowned liturgical design group to draw up plans for a beautiful new Chesterton Academy chapel in the biggest space in the middle of our campus building. I'll show those designs in just a moment, but here's the crazy part. We spent several months working on these plans, but God responded quickly because within days, less than a week, after finishing that design, several surprising things happened almost at once. First, the pastor of Incarnation Catholic Church here in Orlando, Father William Holliday, contacted the school. We got some Incarnation people here. I could tell by the applause. Father Holliday contacted the school and said, listen, I have lots of families who send their kids to Chesterton. They've been raving about the school, but the kids have lamented that they can't have Mass. Would you be open to me coming to the school every Wednesday to celebrate Mass and offer confessions? We said, we got to talk about, yes, obviously yes, right? But then, just a few days later, after Father Holliday made this gracious offer, we received word that our bishop, Bishop John Noonan, appointed 2 priest chaplains to our school, Father Josh Swallows and Father Glenn Lopez of Most Precious Blood. Bishop Noonan, again with graciousness, gave them permission to celebrate Mass and hear confessions on our campus. It was incredible. So after putting the Lord first in our school, within days after designing this new chapel, Jesus suddenly opened these doors. He brought his real presence into our school. We went from no priests, no Mass, no confessions, to suddenly 3 priests, regular Mass, and confessions available. You can only imagine the excitement this brought everyone at school. But here's the thing. We need to keep all this momentum going next year at Chesterton Academy, and that's why we're here tonight. We need your help. Specifically, tonight, we hope to raise $325,000. Now, that represents the difference between next year's operating expenses, our budget, and our tuition revenue, the income we receive from families. So that gap is $325,000. Now, why that large difference? Well, it's because at Chesterton Academy, we're committed to keeping our tuition low and affordable for every family. It's a core principle of ours. In fact, our tuition is lower than almost any other private school in the area. But that means we need to cover that difference each year between our low tuition and what it actually costs to educate each child And that difference next year will be $325,000. Now, I know that's a big goal, but we actually raised more than that at last year's gala, and I know that we can do it again. Raising that money tonight will continue all the great things you've already heard and seen to form saints for the church, heroes for the culture. However, here's the thing. We're ambitious. We dream big. We have 3 special initiatives, and if we can raise even more than that $325,000 tonight, these 3 projects will accelerate our success. First is our Rome Pilgrimage Fund. Every year at Chesterton Academy, seniors are invited to a pilgrimage to Rome and Assisi in Italy for 10 days. This is a hallmark of the Chesterton experience as the ancient faith comes alive for them. Students visit beautiful cathedrals. They encounter the saints. They pray at the tombs of martyrs. They see the Pope. They listen for the voice of God. And for many of them, begin discerning their vocations for the first time in a serious way. Many of them will come back saying it was a life-changing experience. It's the culmination of all that they've studied and experienced in their 4 years at Chesterton. Just a couple months ago, our first group of seniors at our school here in Orlando went on the Rome pilgrimage. In fact, you'll hear from a couple of them in just a moment. And it was deeply transformative for all of them. Now, students raise their own money for the pilgrimage. However, we still need to support a couple faculty members and staff chaperones and to cover the other related costs. So that's why we hope to establish this Rome Pilgrimage Fund to ensure every senior can make this important pilgrimage. The second project is a new drama stage. As you've heard, the fine arts are central to our school. Every Chesterton student acts and performs on the stage. Students put on murder mysteries and comedies and Shakespearean dramas. But right now, we have no dedicated stage or drama room in which to do that. So we have to have our plays and events in the gymnasium. And when we do, we have to rent an expensive stage, which not only costs money, but takes a lot of time to set up and tear down. However, our headmaster, Mr. Hickel, came up with an ingenious solution. Working with a designer and an engineer, Mr. Hickel designed a stage that will be attached to the wall of the gymnasium and then folds down kind of like a Murphy bed. You'll see it here on the screen. We can get the video up there. Now, when not in use, the stage folds flat against the gym, so it takes up no extra storage, which we love. But when it's ready for a practice or a performance or an event, we just fold it down, fold the sides out, and in just a few minutes we have a large elevated stage that we can use not only for our drama performances, but also for graduations and assemblies and other events. So that's our second dream project, this new drama stage. Finally, here's the big one, the chapel that I just mentioned a moment ago. Again, we've partnered with one of the leading liturgical designers in the world to create a detailed design for a beautiful chapel. You can see a preview of it here on the screens. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Can you imagine over the next decade, hundreds or perhaps even thousands of high schoolers coming through this chapel, praying and worshiping in this beautiful place? We want it to be a chapel worthy of their praise. Now, it's a long road to building out a chapel like this. We estimate that the project will eventually cost around $500,000, and we're not asking for that full amount tonight. Unless that is, there's people in this room that would like to get that chapel up ASAP. And if that's you, if God's put that on your heart, come see me, please. I'd love to talk with you. But tonight, we'd merely like to take the next step forward. Thanks to your help, last summer, we completed phase 1 of this chapel project, which mainly just involved demolition. But this summer, we're hoping to complete phase 2, which includes building the confessional, the sacristy, and some more of the structural work. Those red doors at the front are the confessional and the sacristy. That will be huge. Just to be clear, completing this chapel will directly lead to more confessions, more mass, more sacramental grace. But again, to do all that, we need your help. We need your help to reach our basic goal of $325,000 to continue all the school's basic operational needs next year, but we especially need your help to achieve our bigger, more ambitious projects. Now, $325,000 is a lot of money, and it's likely beyond the reach of any one person here. However, together, we can make this happen. To give you a better perspective on how your gift will directly help these students, consider these options on the screen. A gift of $600 or $50 a month provides books and supplies for one student for 1 year, and that's amazing. You'll provide them with personal copies of the greatest books of the Western world, books they'll be able to keep for the rest of their lives. A gift of $1,200 or $100 a month sponsors one Chesterton teacher to attend a week-long hands-on training this summer hosted by the Chesterton Schools Network that will form them in the classical model, so they'll be able to return to our school ready to flourish. A gift of $2,400 or $200 a month provides financial aid for one student, allowing a family in need to receive a quality education that otherwise would not be possible. A gift of $7,200 or $600 a month provides financial aid for 3 students. A gift of $12,000 or $1,000 a month will build out our Rome Pilgrimage Fund and ensure that all seniors at our school can attend this life-changing Rome pilgrimage. A gift of $24,000 or $2,000 a month will fund the innovative new drama stage, enabling us to host several more events and performances each year, to which all of you will be invited. A gift of $36,000 or $3,000 a month covers phase 2 of our chapel project this summer, namely the confessional, the sacristy, and the extra space. Now, with this in mind, later this evening, we'll be inviting you to make a faith investment. Now, I'd like to take a brief moment to explain what this is, a faith investment. The key word is faith. We're not asking for a donation, which anyone can give. Donations are great, and nonprofit charities like ours love donations. But tonight, speaking mostly to Christians in this audience, we're asking for something more. A faith investment is driven not just by our kindness or by our reason, but by our faith. We have faith in God, recognizing that everything we have has been given to us by Him, and therefore, before we give, we ask God what He would like to give of His resources toward a cause like this one. We ask Him to put an amount on our minds and hearts, and then in faith, we trust Him to provide those resources. Now, usually this stretches us a bit past a mere donation, and that's good. The stretching is good. But a faith investment's not a pledge. A pledge is just a horizontal agreement between you and a church or a charity or a worthy cause. And again, pledges are good, just like donations. But a faith investment is not only a horizontal agreement, but a vertical agreement between you and God. You ask God how, in faith, He wants to bless this school, and then you trust that He'll give you the means to do it. In 1 Corinthians 8:3, there's this really fascinating line where St. Paul says of the early Christians, they gave of their own accord, according to their ability, and beyond their ability. That's really interesting. They gave beyond their ability. Now, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean they were reckless or irresponsible. It means that they trusted God. They had faith. They trusted that God would stretch them to give significant resources, big gifts for great things in His kingdom. And then they trusted that God would not only provide the means to do it, but also bless them for doing it. So that's what we're asking for tonight, a faith investment. Ask God what He'd like you to give, and then invite Him to stretch you. Now, while you're under no obligation to give tonight, we know that many of you will want to, and therefore later this evening we'll give you that opportunity. But for now, we'll continue our program. And I'd next like to welcome to the stage our wonderful student choir. So students, if you could begin making your way up here. As we shared earlier, every student at Chesterton Academy takes 4 years of choir. They all learn how to sing, they all learn how to chant. So what you're about to experience is not just a small elite group of singers at Chesterton Academy, this is our entire school. So the student choir at Chesterton is the entire school at Chesterton. Tonight, under the direction of Mr. Christian Kayola, our choir director, the students will be performing 2 songs for you, I'm Dreaming of Home and the Salve Regina. So please enjoy the wonder and the beauty of the Chesterton Academy Choir.